Well, hello, friends, and some family members who are joining this week. Welcome back to Meaningful Moments with May, the space where you get to explore the deeper layers of your inner world so that you can live with more clarity, confidence, and compassion for yourself. Now, before we begin, I would love to give a great shout out to my husband and his team of people who helped make his dream come to a reality. So, you see this poster behind me? It's the release of his first children's book, Magic Mr. Milo Meets Jimmy, and it's a terrific children's reading and coloring book. And so as we get closer to the holidays, I thought I'd share it with you because if you had children or grandchildren, this would make a great gift and it's under $10. Just search Magic Mr. Milo on Amazon and you'll see it there. And I'm so proud of you, my love. Yay to all you and your team. Okay, so let's dive in now. Last week, I talked about manifesting abundance and aligning with your true purpose. And I received a lot of curious feedback about that. Most of the feedback I received was cloaked in worthiness wounds, self-doubt, and fear. So I decided that over the next few weeks, I'm going to be sharing with you in greater detail some very personal life lessons and experiences. And I'm going to also share with you about some of the ways that energy blocks prevent you from connecting with your true purpose in life, let alone aligning with it. So this is a topic that I know a lot about. Not from earning a degree in psychology at some university, but from earning a degree through life, from living through worthiness wounds, working on them, and coming out on the other side of them with compassion, understanding, and greater awareness. So today we're going to tackle it head on and cover one of the questions I get asked a lot. And I've heard this question many times from clients, friends, and even incredibly accomplished people. So here it is. Why am I so afraid to make decisions? Or why can't I just make a decision? I've heard it said that way too. If you've ever felt frozen, overwhelmed, or convinced you're about to choose the wrong thing, this episode is for you. We're going to unpack the psychology of the fear of making decisions, explore where self-doubt really comes from, and help you understand what's happening internally so that you can begin trusting yourself again. So let's take a deep breath. Grab your favorite beverage, get comfy, and let's dive right on into this subject together. So what's the hidden fear behind self-doubt? Self-doubt isn't a flaw, it's a signal. We're all constantly receiving signals from the universe, and when you are in tune with your physical, emotional, and spiritual bodies, you can learn to recognize the signals for what they are. When you find yourself afraid to make decisions, your brain is usually trying to protect you from one of three things, maybe even all. Fear of making the wrong choice, fear of disappointing someone, fear of losing control or certainty. See, most people think they're indecisive because they're not confident enough. In reality, your nervous system has learned that safety comes from waiting, second guessing, or seeking reassurance from others. This internal hesitation comes from childhood or early adulthood, but generally childhood in our impressionable years. Times where decisions that we made led to criticism, conflict, shame, or unpredictability, sometimes even a loss. So your brain wired the decision-making skill set as dangerous. So if you've ever wondered, why can't I just choose something like everyone else? Please hear this. There is nothing wrong with you. Your system is simply doing what it learned to keep you safe. So let's unpack the decision freeze and what's really happening in your mind let's talk about the moment you're faced with a choice. It could be a big life-altering decision like changing careers or moving across country, or small like picking dinner. your brain immediately runs a silent, lightning fast sequence. First, it scans for threats. Will this upset someone? Could this embarrass me? What if I'm wrong? Or what if it's wrong? The decision you just made. And then, it starts to overestimate consequences. A small choice suddenly feels like it's life altering. That's overload. Underestimating your ability to cope. You forget your resourcefulness, your resilience, and your capacity to make decisions. And the mind freeze. How about this one? Your mind spirals. You ask others for advice. You Google every angle. You wait. See, this freeze isn't laziness. It's about your protective system saying, if I delay the decision, I can avoid the emotional risk. But ironically, the avoidance itself becomes the thing that limits you. And there's one more hidden freeze trait. And perhaps you're in an industry where you make multiple decisions on a daily basis that have enormous consequences. I lovingly call this decision overload. It's like your brain shuts down automatically as preservation at the end of the day, and then all other decisions that come your way get ignored, get put on the sideline, or laid on the lap of a spouse or a friend, like, hey, what's for dinner? It's an overload because you make so many. So let's talk about where this pattern began. And I'm going to give you a warning right here because we are going to get a little deep here. I want you to see if any of these resonate with you. There are 4 common origins of decision fear. The first one is you grew up in an overly corrected or criticized environment, and you learned that decisions equal judgment. The second one is you had to be the responsible one, and you developed a belief that mistakes are just unacceptable. The third one is you lived in chaos or unpredictability. That was me. And your mind craved certainty because you didn't have any while you were growing up. Or you were praised for being agreeable, and now your brain confuses decisions with potential conflict. If any of these resonate, it's not because you're broken. It's because your story shaped your self-beliefs. So choosing to unlearn them is another option. So let's talk about how to rebuild self-trust to make decisions. Let's talk healing. The first thing you can do is start with tiny decisions. Ask yourself, what would I choose if no one else had an opinion? Many of us turn our decision-making powers, we turn them over to others without even realizing we're doing it because we're seeking an outside source for advice instead of going within. The second thing you can do is adopt this mantra or one similar to it. See which one resonates with you, but this one resonates for me. There are no perfect choices. You see, perfectionism creates paralysis. You've heard the expression analysis paralysis, right? Well, protectionism works the same way. Most decisions can be adjusted, changed, or redirected. We all wait till it's perfect, the perfect time, the perfect dress, the perfect weight, the perfect this, right? No, there's no such thing. And the third thing you can do is practice self-validation. Before asking for advice, ask yourself first. Maybe you can visualize yourself guiding a close friend or a family member with a question about the decision you need to make and determine how you might guide them if they were asking you for the same feedback. You can ask yourself if the decision you come up with feels right to you. See how it feels in your sacral area between your pelvis and your belly button. This is the energy center of creation. And try to tune your body to the responses you get. And you can tune and train your body to be your guide. So this can also help guide your decision-making process. You've heard the expression, I had a gut feeling, right? There's a reason for that. That's your inner guidance nudging you. And fourth, and this is one I use a lot, Decisions can be experiments. I live my life in an experiment now. It's not a test. I replace what if I choose wrong with what might I learn? Or what if it could all work out? That's what I love to ask. What if it could be easy? And the fifth, and I just spoke about reconnecting to your internal signals, let's learn to recognize and notice the difference between fear, real fear, intuition, and conditioning. Slowly you'll teach your brain and nervous system something powerful. I can trust myself again. I can handle the outcome, and I can choose. So let's take a moment for reflection and journaling if you'd like to do that. So let's take a deep breath through your nose and out through your mouth like you're sipping through a straw. And ask yourself gently, when did I first learn that making decisions was unsafe? I'll repeat that. When did I first learn that making decisions was unsafe? And then ask yourself, whose voice do I still hear when I hesitate? Whose voice do I still hear when I hesitate? And what part of me wants to feel trusted and capable again? What part of me wants to feel trusted and capable again? You don't need to have all the answers right now. Just asking the questions begins the healing process and the awareness process. So if this conversation spoke to you, if you're tired of second guessing yourself, overthinking every choice, or feeling like you just can't trust your own judgment, I have something to support your next step. I'd love for you to take my free quiz, What's Blocking Your Self-Trust? It's a quick, insightful assessment that helps you identify the root cause of your self-doubt. Is it fear of judgment? Do you suffer from perfectionism? How about emotional overwhelm or old conditioning patterns? It can go a lot deeper than this surface stuff we're talking about. You'll walk away with a personalized breakdown and practical next steps to start reclaiming and trusting your inner voice so that you can find the right to make your own decisions. And you can find this quiz link in the show notes or at maicalev.com/quiz. That's May, MAICALEV.com/quiz. So thank you for spending this meaningful moment with me today. And if this episode helped you, please share it with someone you care about. You never know who needs to hear this message too. And if you haven't already, don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. Until next time, remember, you are capable, you are wise, and you can trust yourself. Bye for now.